Have you ever felt a strange tingling down your spine, like a gentle electric buzz moving from your hips up to your head? Or maybe a warm feeling in your chest, a lump in your throat, or pressure on your forehead? What if those sensations aren't just random or signs of sickness, but actually important messages? We live in a world that trusts logic and what we can see or measure. But there are other levels of reality too. On those levels, the body isn't just a biological machine. It's a messenger, a bridge, a living temple that shows what the soul can't yet put into words. Many people going through a spiritual awakening notice changes in their body. Heartbeats that race for no medical reason, trouble sleeping, small tremors, pressure in the head, strong emotions, or a need to be alone. Doctors usually say, "You're fine," but those people know something's shifting inside. True spiritual awakening doesn't just change your mind or emotions, it changes your body's energy too. When your awareness grows, your energy shifts, and your body has to adjust. This is something not many people talk about. Spiritual awakening is also a physical process. It can be confusing, but it's deeply revealing. In this video, we're going to explore these physical signs, not from a medical or superstitious angle, but from an ancient and spiritual perspective. We'll look at the hidden map of the spiritual body and see how it tells you that your soul is starting to rise. I'll share the most common signs, what they mean, how to tell if you're going through a deep awakening, and most importantly, how to honor the process without fear. You're not sick or failing, you're being reborn. This isn't just another spirituality video. It's a guide, a light in the darkness for anyone who feels inside what their soul already knows. Something inside is waking up and your body is announcing it. Get ready to put the pieces together, understand what you're feeling, and realize your body has always been a tool for divine awareness. Since ancient times, cultures have known something modern science is only starting to understand. The body and spirit aren't separate. The body is the spirit's first language, its mirror, its messenger. In ancient Egypt, people believed a human was like a small version of the whole universe. The body wasn't seen as separate from the soul or divine spirit, but as a sacred home. When energy inside changed, whether through spiritual growth or cosmic imbalance, the body showed signs like shaking, trances, warmth in the hands and feet, or visions. These weren't illnesses. They were warnings and signs of initiation. The body was reacting to contact with higher dimensions. In ancient India, the rishis described an energy system inside the body called nadis, through yoga and chakras. When kundalini, the sleeping energy at the base of the spine, starts to rise, it activates energy centers that affect the body. How? Through symptoms like heat, pressure in the head, fast heartbeats, sudden tears, or inner visions. This was seen as a natural part of spiritual awakening. Taoism talks about qi, the life force. Through breathing exercises and visualization, practitioners move this energy and feel things like buzzing ears, organ vibrations, tremors, or even ecstatic body states without any outside cause. The body truly becomes a spiritual lab. In Jewish Christian mysticism, the body is also a temple. The Zohar, a key Kabbalah text, says every part of the body matches a divine energy called a sephira. When someone spiritually aligns, these energies activate and the body experiences tremors, bursts of joy, and more. Biblical prophets didn't just hear God, they trembled, cried, and went into trances. All these traditions agree on one thing. The body doesn't just show illness, it also shows awakening. Today, in our logic-driven world, we often treat the body like just a machine. But ancient wisdom reminds us it's also a divine instrument. When your soul starts to rise, your body reacts. That pressure between your eyebrows isn't just an annoyance. It might be your spiritual vision center opening. That fire in your belly isn't just an upset stomach. It could be your personal power awakening and calling for your attention. That tired feeling you can't explain isn't always just from not getting enough sleep. Sometimes it's your body adjusting to new energy. Your body is shifting, stopping old patterns and tuning into a higher vibration. And you can actually feel that happening. What ancient cultures understood, and what we're starting to remember, is that awakening affects the whole person. You don't just think differently, you feel different, all the way down to your muscles, bones, and organs. When your soul grows, your body shakes with it. Like a seed pushing through the soil, it takes effort and inner strength. The soul's awakening isn't smooth or simple. It's deep, sometimes messy, and often confusing. The first thing to change is the most obvious: your body. Many people expect spiritual awakening to bring instant peace, but often it first shows up as physical symptoms, not just emotional or mental ones. Your body is the stage where this invisible process plays out. Let's talk about some common meaningful signs that show up when your soul starts to wake up. First, heart palpitations without a clear cause. You might suddenly feel your heart pounding during calm moments, like something inside knows a big change is coming. This isn't just anxiety. In many traditions, the heart is the first part of the body to connect with the divine. When you open to a new level of awareness, your heart reacts by beating stronger. It's telling you that you're crossing into something new. Second, pressure or a strange feeling between your eyebrows or on your forehead. People often notice a tingling, weight, or steady pressure in that spot. This area is called the third eye, or Ajna chakra, and it's where intuition and subtle insight live. When your soul starts to see beyond the obvious, this center lights up. It's like a spiritual antenna turning on, and yes, you can feel that physically. Third, warmth or a burning feeling in your lower back or along your spine. This relates to Kundalini energy awakening. Even if it's not intense, this sacred energy moving upward feels like heat traveling up your spine. In many traditions, the spine is seen as the path consciousness follows upward, and that heat is the spiritual fire starting to flow. Fourth, changes in sleep patterns, trouble sleeping or waking up at certain times. It's common to wake up around 3 or 4 a.m. during spiritual awakening. In many cultures, this is called the hour of the soul, when the barrier between worlds is thinner. This isn't just insomnia, it's your soul reaching out while the world is quiet so you can listen. Sometimes the opposite happens. You sleep deeply and have vivid dreams or visions with messages. Fifth, tiredness without a medical reason or feeling extra sensitive. As your energy system adjusts, your body uses a lot of energy to reconfigure itself. You're moving from an old version of yourself to a new one, and that takes strength. Also, with heightened awareness, everything feels stronger. Loud noises bother you more, crowds tire you out, and heavy foods don't agree with you. This isn't weakness, it's spiritual tuning. These physical symptoms aren't signs that your body is failing. They're signs of your consciousness expanding. Like a fever shows a child is growing, these feelings show that something inside you is growing, waking up, rising. The biggest mistake is to fear these changes or try to push them away. But if you look at them from a spiritual point of view, you'll see they're not problems, they're sacred milestones. Your body isn't breaking, it's revealing something important. Your soul is moving. Spiritual awakening doesn't just hit your mind with questions or your heart with emotions. It shows up in the most personal and real places: your skin, your bones, your senses. When the soul wakes up, your whole body becomes its signal. We've already talked about some common physical signs. Now, let's explore some more subtle and sometimes more confusing signs that people can easily misunderstand if they don't see them spiritually. One example, changes in your digestive system, the second brain recalibrating. Many people notice digestive changes during awakening, like nausea, shifts in appetite, or trouble with certain foods. Why does this happen? Because the digestive system isn't just about breaking down food. It's also an energy center where we process not just what we eat, but what life gives us emotionally and spiritually. When your soul starts waking up, it can't handle things it used to accept without question. Heavy foods, toxic places, or lies you tell yourself. That's why your stomach gets more sensitive. Your body is saying, I can't digest what isn't real anymore. Second, your senses get sharper. The body becomes like a spiritual radar. Spiritual awakening doesn't just make your senses stronger, it tunes them to different frequencies. Suddenly, you notice nature's sounds more clearly. Loud noises bother you more, colors look brighter, and your skin picks up on other people's energy. This isn't just in your head, it's about energy. When your soul opens up, your energy field does too, and your senses adjust to pick up things you didn't notice before. You become less rough around the edges, but way more aware. Third, you might have involuntary movements or spasms during meditation or sleep. These can be sudden jerks in your arms or legs, tremors, or deep, uncontrolled breaths. These aren't random. They're energy releases or blockages clearing out. In Eastern traditions, this happens when your body tunes into new energy, letting go of stored tension or rearranging the flow of chi or prana. It's like energy breaking through blockages naturally. This isn't a problem, it's reconnecting. Fourth, your emotions might get intense for no clear reason. You could cry, feel super happy, deep sadness, or sudden calm, all without anything outside causing it. What's going on? Old emotional energy that was stuck is now coming up. These aren't new feelings, but emotions your awakened soul can't hold inside anymore. Just like a wound needs to bleed to heal, your consciousness needs to feel to free itself. Don't worry if you laugh and cry on the same day. You're clearing yourself from the inside out. Fifth, you may want to be alone or avoid certain places and people. Your body just doesn't want to be where your soul feels out of place. You might feel uncomfortable around some people or places, or just really need quiet, solitude, or nature. That's totally normal. You're starting to vibrate on a new frequency, and things that don't match that feel off. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. You're leaving an old version of yourself behind. These signs don't mean something's wrong with you. They show things are starting to fit together. Your body speaks when your soul moves, and every symptom, every discomfort, every sensitivity is a clue, a sign of a sacred change. Spiritual awakening isn't just something inside your mind. It's a full-on transformation. And your body is the drum that keeps the beat. Awakening isn't just about mystical experiences or deep insights. It's about fully living your soul in your body. The soul wakes up not to leave you behind, but to live in you more completely. It's in this dance between spirit and body, between the cosmic and the physical, that many get lost if they don't have ways to stay grounded. Just understanding what's happening isn't enough now. Your body is changing with these higher energies and needs care, attention, and support. Here are some tips, not just healthy habits, but real rituals that will help you stay balanced through this process without feeling overwhelmed or disconnected. First tip, create a daily grounding ritual. When your soul wakes up, it's normal to feel spaced out, like your head is floating and your feet are cold, disconnected from the physical world. That's why grounding is so important. You can do simple things like walking barefoot on grass or dirt touching a tree, or taking deep breaths while imagining roots growing from your feet into the earth. It might feel symbolic, but it has a deep effect on your energy. It tells your body, yes, we're rising, but we're still connected here. The spirit needs solid ground to show up. Second tip, treat your symptoms as messages, not problems. Modern medicine teaches us to ignore or fight any discomfort, but on the spiritual path, symptoms are signs, not enemies. If you feel pressure in your head, don't rush to get rid of it. Instead, take a deep breath, pay attention, and sit quietly. Ask yourself what part of you is waking up. If you have trouble sleeping, don't force it. Use that quiet time to reflect or write down your thoughts. Often the soul chooses the night to speak when the world is still. Third tip, keep your body clean and clear. Your body needs to be a pure channel to hold higher energy. This doesn't mean being extreme or harsh with yourself, but making loving choices to support your inner cleansing. Drink clean water, eat fresh foods that give you energy, and try gentle fasts if it feels right. Cleansing isn't punishment, it's tuning in. You lighten your load so your soul can move more freely. Fourth tip, listen to your own rhythm, not the world's schedule. During awakening, your energy won't follow your usual routine. You might want less social time, more quiet, and breaks from doing things. Your mind might tell you you're wasting time, but your soul is asking for rest and reset. Give yourself permission to step back. Like a hermit who retreats not to hide, but to listen deeply, you need space to hear what's inside. Cut down on extra commitments if you can. Learn to say no. Trust that your unique rhythm matters. Only you know the dance of your spirit. Fifth tip, keep a journal of your experiences and dreams. Your body speaks, but so do your dreams, instincts, and symbols. Write down everything: heartbeats, visions, repeated thoughts, strange feelings. Over time, this journal becomes your personal guide to your transformation. You don't need an outside teacher. The answers are inside you. You just have to pay attention, like learning a forgotten language until it becomes familiar. Supporting spiritual awakening in your body isn't about enduring pain. It's about working with it and giving your soul a clean, respectful home. Don't rush, judge, or deny it. Honor your body as the sacred place where divinity wants to live. Then every shake, every feeling, every symptom will stop scaring you and become a blessing. We've explored a deep path that's often ignored, the body as the sacred space of spiritual awakening. It's no accident so many people feel symptoms that doctors can't explain or fix. This isn't weakness or sickness. It's your soul raising its energy and your body trying to catch up. The biggest mistake is thinking spiritual growth happens only in the mind or far away in some abstract realm. True awakening doesn't leave your body behind. It lights up from inside it. Your body isn't a problem. It's the sacred cup holding your transformation. Your skin, organs, and senses are being refined by a wiser, kinder, and more subtle energy. The buzzing in your ears, the pressure on your forehead, the heat in your back, they're all signs of a new beginning. But here's something deeper. The soul doesn't wake up all at once. It awakens when you're ready to listen. That readiness starts when you stop fearing your feelings and begin to understand your body's language. Are you trembling? Maybe you're releasing old memories, crying for no reason. Your heart might be letting go of years of pain. Can't sleep? Your soul is calling you to connect in the quiet. Everything you feel makes sense, even if the world says otherwise. The big secret is this: there's no awakening without the body. And there's no body that's not a vehicle for the spirit if you treat it that way. Now that you know you're not alone and that your symptoms are signals, I invite you to walk this path with respect, patience, and openness. Breathe, listen, feel, and honor every change as a sacred ritual, because that's what it is. If this message speaks to you, if something inside you lit up, if something finally made sense or a forgotten truth came back, then subscribe to this channel. Leave a like to help spread the message, and share this video with others who might be feeling the same, but don't understand why. Because when one person wakes up, their light helps guide many. This is your body, your soul, and your moment. The temple is alive, and you're already inside. Imagine one day, almost by accident, you come across an old manuscript. Its pages are yellowed and worn with age, but still readable. It has no author's name, no date, no signature, only a title written inside the cover in careful, almost ritual-like handwriting. This isn't just any book, it's called The Manuscript of the Last Healer. It wasn't made to be simply read, but to be remembered. The words inside don't teach anything new. Instead, they awaken something deep inside you, something the modern world has tried to bury: your true power. Today, many people feel disconnected from their true selves. Our souls seem broken into pieces, tamed, and made smaller than they once were. We've been told healing is something others do for us, that knowledge is kept only by a select few, and that real inner power is just a fairy tale. But those who have discovered secret teachings know the truth is different. They know that inside every person is a sleeping healer, a soul alchemist, a warrior of light. This message isn't just a thought to consider. It's a key, a door, and an invitation to step beyond the ordinary and meet your true self. We're about to explore the mysteries hidden in this so-called lost manuscript. Mysteries that trace back to ancient myths, secret rituals, and silent traditions that kept this knowledge alive while the world remained asleep. We will learn what it really means to be a healer. It's not just about fixing others' bodies, it's about remembering who you truly are. We'll reveal teachings linked to the oldest spiritual traditions, from vibrational healing to the sacred patterns of the soul, from the mindful use of words to the powerful silence within. Most importantly, we'll share practical techniques and insights you can use every day to reconnect with your inner core, the source of real power. Not a power over others, but the power to create, change, and awaken. This is not a journey outside yourself. It's a return to a voice calling from within. If you're reading this, it's no accident. No one finds the manuscript of the last healer unless they're ready for it. Not all knowledge is meant for everyone. Throughout history, some teachings weren't shared in public or written on official documents. They were passed quietly in secret caves, hidden temples, and among chosen ones who understood that certain truths could only be given to those ready to receive them. Within these hidden streams of wisdom, there's the mysterious figure of the initiatory healer, and with him, the tradition of living manuscripts, texts meant not just to inform but to awaken the soul. The idea of a manuscript that's read not with the eyes but with the soul appears in many spiritual traditions. In ancient India, sacred texts like the Agamas and Tantras were kept secret for those who had already transformed themselves through discipline. In ancient Egypt, the Hermetic writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus were seen as secret keys to unlock inner healing mysteries. Even in Christian mysticism, some hidden gospels teach about the inner light, the healing power of words, and the body as a sacred temple, ideas that were later pushed aside by strict religious rules. In these traditions, the healer is more than just a physical doctor. The healer is someone who has learned to restore balance between body, mind, soul, and spirit. They don't see themselves as just a helper, but as a reminder, a trigger to awaken the divine code that lives inside every person. So the manuscripts they carried weren't just books, they were tools to spark that remembrance. Why was this knowledge hidden? Because true power can't be controlled. Religious, political, and cultural systems fear the free individual, the person who has remembered their true self and tapped into their own well of wisdom and healing. That's why many of these teachings were silenced, twisted, or labeled heretical, but they never vanished. They just hid in symbols, in patterns, chants, dreams, and writings that open only when your consciousness is ready. The manuscript of the last healer might not even be a real book. It could be a symbol, a powerful metaphor representing the last spark of a forgotten tradition. Or it might be a real lost text waiting to be found by the right seeker. Either way, its message echoes the voices of those who preserved the truth. That true transformation comes not from outside forces, but from deep inside your being. Understanding this is more than just learning history. It's an act of spiritual justice. When we realize where this knowledge comes from, we see that we're not inventing anything new. We're reconnecting with a forgotten heritage. And that changes everything. To truly understand what the manuscript of the last healer is about, we first need to let go of the usual idea that knowledge is something external, something you just collect or learn from books or lectures. This manuscript isn't just a book filled with facts or information. Instead, it's a living, breathing text that acts like a mirror. But this mirror doesn't show you what you already know. It reflects what you've forgotten deep inside. Its wisdom isn't written in simple words, but in symbols, vibrations, and universal truths that speak directly to your soul beyond just your mind. Right from the start, this manuscript doesn't give explanations or definitions. Instead, it asks a question. Do you remember who you are when you don't have to be anyone else? It's not about piling up more data or facts, but about waking up a kind of spiritual memory inside you. And that's really important. In many spiritual traditions, to remember means not just bringing something back from the past, but reuniting parts of yourself that have been separated. It's about coming back to your heart. This manuscript, whether it's a real book or a symbol, is designed as a map of your inner world. Each section focuses on a key part of who you are, parts that need understanding, healing, and balance. There's no strict rulebook or hierarchy here. Instead, you find keys, pieces of wisdom presented through powerful images, sacred numbers, meaningful words, and teachings you don't just read, but recognize deep inside. One of the most important ideas in the manuscript is about energetic self-sovereignty. It tells us that a true healer doesn't rely on tools, rituals, or outside methods. The most powerful tool a healer has is simply their presence, their ability to fully live in their own energy with awareness. The power to heal yourself and others comes when your inner vibration is stronger than the noise and distractions of the outside world. Here, a big difference becomes clear. A healer isn't just someone who repeats old methods or passes on what they learned. A healer is an alchemist of the now. They take pain and turn it into compassion. They take fear and change it into conscious, loving action. They don't ignore darkness, they shine light on it from inside. The first step for this kind of healing is awakening the core inside you, the place where pure intention meets quiet stillness. The manuscript doesn't offer a step-by-step method or promise quick fixes. Instead, it opens doors, and each door can only be unlocked by a unique key, your own key, shaped by every experience, every mistake, every silent moment of searching that you might not have even realized was part of your journey. One powerful message in the manuscript is this: the healer isn't made, the healer awakens. This changes everything. It means you don't have to look outside yourself for answers or try to become perfect to be worthy. The power you've been chasing outside already burns inside you. You just need to remember it and claim it. This is the manuscript's main twist. Stop learning new things and start remembering what's already inside. Stop searching outside and start being present within yourself. The manuscript of The Last Healer doesn't teach magic tricks. It teaches you how to be the channel through which transformation happens. As you move deeper into its teachings, you realize that the real art of healing isn't about manipulating energies or substances outside of you. It's about mastering your own energy field. The manuscript shares an important teaching. Every person gives off an energy field, not just the physical electromagnetic field that science talks about, but a field of consciousness made up of your intentions, thoughts, feelings, and spiritual harmony. This energy field isn't still. It vibrates, and the quality of that vibration shows, whether you're a true healer or just someone repeating empty words and formulas. The power to heal doesn't come from knowing techniques. It comes from living in such a clear, strong, and centered energy that simply being near you helps clear distortions in others. This is one of the manuscript's core lessons. Healing spreads through coherence, and that coherence can't be faked. You can't just say nice things or act the part. True coherence comes from deeply accepting both your light and your shadow. The manuscript teaches that your shadow, your broken, dark parts, isn't the enemy. It's the raw material for inner healing. A true healer doesn't hide from their darkness or pretend everything is perfect. They accept it, transform it, and turn it into a source of compassion that shines brightly. Another important lesson is the power of being present without trying to control or fix things. Instead of rushing in with anxiety or force, a true healer simply holds space with deep calm and stillness. They don't push healing on others. They invite it. Like a candle lighting another candle without a word, their energy alone can awaken the other person's own light. This way of simply holding space without interfering is itself a sacred act. The manuscript also talks about the power of words as creative forces. Every word carries a shape, every shape carries a vibration, and every vibration carries a destiny. So a conscious healer chooses their words carefully, not to convince or teach, but to open doors in another person's awareness. This makes the healer an artist of the soul, a sculptor working with invisible but powerful material, the vibration of their own consciousness. Here's another powerful paradox from the manuscript of The Last Healer. The less ego you carry, the better a channel you become. The less you try to force healing, the more healing actually happens. One of the most mysterious lines says, "It is not you who heals. It is the totality remembering its form through you." This breaks down the idea that the healer has some personal power or special gift. Instead, the healer is like an empty flute, ready for the divine breath to flow through. The healer's role isn't to control or force anything, but to tune themselves, aligning deeply with the true center of reality, where the soul doesn't push or strive, but simply vibrates. This leads to the manuscript's second big insight. The healer's job is not to change others directly, but to live so truly and fully in their own essence that their very presence becomes an invitation for others to remember who they really are. That presence is the strongest medicine there is, a vibration that doesn't argue, convince, or impose, but simply remembers, resonates, and awakens. This is the legacy of The Last Healer. It's not a title or some supernatural power, but a natural way of being that everyone carries inside, like a sacred seed waiting to bloom in spring. The manuscript of The Last Healer doesn't offer quick fixes or meaningless rituals. Its teachings, though deeply mystical, reveal a simple but radical truth. The most powerful transformation is often the simplest, not because it's easy, but because it demands complete honesty and courage to unlock the power that's always been inside you. You don't need to go out and find something new. You just need to learn to see clearly again, to truly inhabit yourself, and to reclaim what you've forgotten. Here are some key practices inspired by the manuscript, adapted for everyday life. The goal isn't to do more, but to be more fully who you already are. First, start your day with silence. Before you reach for your phone, speak, or even move, spend a few minutes in quiet. Breathe deeply, place your hand on your chest, and feel. Don't think, just feel. Ask yourself, what part of me is still asleep? This simple act helps align your consciousness with your energetic heart. Silence is the natural home of the healer. Second, stay grounded in your presence throughout the day. Stop several times, even for just 30 seconds, to bring your attention fully to the present moment. Notice your body, feel your feet on the ground, listen to the sounds around you. This simple habit strengthens your energetic field. Your presence itself is medicine. The more you're fully here, the more you can hold space for others and for yourself. Third, learn to observe emotions without rushing to fix or push them away. When feelings like sadness, anger, or fear arise, don't run from them or try to control them. Instead, hold them gently with awareness, without judgment. Name them if you can. The manuscript teaches that emotions are doors, not obstacles. When you face them with presence, they start to shift, not through thought, but through the heart. Fourth, be mindful with your words. Speak less, but speak from your center. Don't repeat empty phrases or fill silence with meaningless chatter. The manuscript says, every unfelt word builds a prison. Words spoken with true feeling and intention become acts of healing. Empty words, on the other hand, drain your power. Fifth, turn everyday actions into sacred rituals. A healer doesn't need a temple. Wash your hands as if you're cleansing your energy field. Eat as if you're nourishing your light. Walk as if the earth itself recognizes your step. When you bring full awareness to simple tasks, you make them sacred. This is what a healer does. They consecrate life through the ordinary. Sixth, remember that you already are who you need to be. You don't have to become someone else or reach some distant goal. You are already here. True power doesn't come from adding more, but from shedding what isn't real, until only your true essence shines through. The healer is not born. The healer is revealed, the manuscript says. This is your real work, to remember and to hold that space. These aren't rigid instructions, but keys, each one able to open a door if practiced with humility, patience, and respect. Because a true healer doesn't try to act like one. They simply live aligned with their quiet, authentic truth. So here we are, at the end of this path. Or maybe the real beginning. The manuscript of the last healer doesn't hand down some secret knowledge reserved for a select few. Instead, it quietly reminds us all that the last healer is you. Yes, you. You who have heard that inner whisper telling you there's more to life. You who have grown tired of searching for answers in places that only bring more noise. You who feel that the pain you carry has a deeper purpose than just suffering. You who know, even if you sometimes forget, that something bright, whole, and sacred lives within you. The manuscript isn't meant to be understood with your mind. It's meant to connect with your soul. Its words, whether obvious or hidden, guide us back to that forgotten place where you don't have to prove anything. You just simply are. You don't need to gather more information. You don't have to wait for anyone's approval. And you definitely don't need to become someone you're not. All you need to do is remember. Remember that every cell in your body holds the wisdom of your ancestors. Remember that every feeling, even the darkest ones, is actually a hidden friend. Remember that silence holds answers noise never can. A healer isn't a job or a title. It's a way of being in tune inside yourself, seeing life as if every moment is a meaningful ritual. When you live like this, you don't have to try to heal others to be a healer. Just by being present, you start to bring balance to what feels out of place. Your energy becomes healing, your eyes a mirror, your words a living shape, and your silence a sacred space. Don't expect everyone to get this. Some will call you an idealist. Others might think you're naive. And some might even resist your light. That's okay. That's just part of the journey. The true healer doesn't come to convince anyone. They come to remind us. And for those ready, simply being near will wake something inside them too. This video, this message, this call isn't the end. It's a torch lighting the way. It's an invitation to stop chasing gurus, formulas, or labels, and start living from the purest part of who you are. If this message speaks to you, if something inside you has stirred or a spark has been lit, subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey back to what really matters. Give it a like if you think this truth should be shared, and send this video to anyone you know who's forgotten their light. Sometimes one reminder is all it takes to start a big change, because the real manuscript isn't in a book. It's written inside you. See you on the next journey. Until then, remember. Have you ever felt a deep sense of knowing, like a quiet voice inside you that isn't coming from your thoughts or feelings? It's not just your imagination, it's a signal. Something inside you is trying to communicate, and it's not your brain. Long before we understood the heart as just a pump for blood, people saw it as the seat of the soul, a center of deep wisdom and a mirror reflecting the mysteries of life. Ancient spiritual traditions didn't just guess this, they knew it for sure. They weren't talking about the physical heart, but a different kind of heart, one you can't see or touch. This spiritual heart wakes up when everything else falls away. Imagine that inside you there's a quiet temple made not of stone but of light and energy, a peaceful space that stays calm even when life is chaotic. That's the spiritual heart. It doesn't just handle your emotions. It directs your energy, guides your important choices, and connects you to something bigger than yourself. It's invisible but very real. Maybe even more real than your thoughts. In this video, we'll look beyond the mystery and explore the idea that the true center of your life isn't your brain, but this sacred energy point deep in your chest. We'll learn what it really is, how ancient cultures understood it, and how you can start to activate it in your everyday life. We'll talk about how old civilizations saw its power, why modern science has mostly ignored it, and how waking it up can change your life from just going through the motions to living with true awareness. This won't be a quick or shallow explanation. I'll take you on a deep journey into human consciousness, sharing hidden teachings, symbols, and practical steps that could change how you see yourself. The spiritual heart is more than just a symbol. It's the real center of who you are, the true throne of your soul. Get ready, because what you're about to learn isn't just information. It's ancient wisdom. Once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. For thousands of years, wise people and mystics have said the real heart of a person isn't the one made of flesh and blood, but an invisible core where the eternal lives. This spiritual heart has been called many names: the soul's center, the inner temple, the lotus of the chest. But its role is always the same: to connect the human with the divine. For the ancient Egyptians, the heart was more than just important. It was where consciousness and morality lived. In the Book of the Dead, when someone passed away, their heart was weighed against a feather representing truth and order. If the heart was heavy with guilt or impurities, their soul would be destroyed. It wasn't their thoughts being judged, but their heart. This shows how much they saw the heart as the record keeper of a person's true life. In India's Vedic traditions, there's the idea of anahata, the fourth chakra located in the center of the chest. It means unstruck sound or original vibration, representing pure awareness. Beyond the fight between mind and matter, anahata isn't just an energy center. It's the doorway to unconditional love, compassion, and deep intuition. According to Yogis, this is where the soul begins to realize its true nature. Islamic mysticism, especially Sufism, talks about the spiritual heart called qalb. They see it as a mirror. When clean, it reflects divine light. When covered with dust like ego or desires, it can't reflect the truth. Sufis don't just want knowledge in their heads. They want their hearts to wake up, because that's where the true connection with God happens. Even in Christian mysticism, there's the idea of the Sacred Heart, a symbol of divine love shining from the center of our being. Saints and visionaries describe the heart as a burning flame, a sacred place inside. Saint Teresa of Avila called the soul an inner castle with the deepest room, the heart, where one connects with God. Different cultures and times all agreed on this. There is a place beyond thinking, a secret room of the soul where eternal wisdom lives. This wasn't just a story or a metaphor. It was a truth felt by those brave enough to quiet their minds and dive deep into their inner core. Today's world, focused on logic and material things, often ignores this hidden heart inside us. But if we look back at ancient wisdom, we see it's not just about a symbol or idea. It's about rediscovering a real spiritual part of ourselves that's been lost. And what's at stake is huge. Our connection to something eternal, something real and sacred within us. The spiritual heart isn't a fantasy or just a feeling. It's a real energy center, even though we can't see it with our eyes. To really understand it, we have to go beyond regular biology and psychology and explore a deeper map of who we are, a map where body, mind, soul, and spirit are all connected, like threads in a complex tapestry. According to ancient teachings, we have multiple layers of being: the physical body, an energy or subtle body, the mind, emotions, and beyond all that, a spiritual body. The spiritual heart sits right where the energy body and the soul meet. It's where life energy is organized and where our higher will shows up. In other words, it's like a quiet control center that manages not just the energy flowing through us, but also the spiritual direction of our lives. Unlike the brain, which works through logic and step-by-step thinking, the spiritual heart works through intuition and feeling. It senses truth not by analyzing, but by recognizing a kind of inner knowing, like hearing a song for the first time, but feeling like you've always known it. This heart doesn't beat by a clock. It beats by the rhythm of the soul. Many traditions talk about the human energy field, sometimes called the aura or body of light, which has energy centers called chakras. The spiritual heart is located in the middle of the chest, near the heart chakra called anahata, but they're not the same thing. The chakra is like a spinning wheel of energy, helping the flow move. The spiritual heart is the center that decides where that energy goes. Think of the chakra as the instrument and the spiritual heart as the musician playing it. When the spiritual heart wakes up, big changes start to happen inside. Instead of just following selfish desires, a person begins to listen to deeper guidance. A new kind of moral compass appears, one that goes beyond rules or outside beliefs. Real compassion arises naturally, not because you have to, but because you truly connect with life. And most importantly, you gain clarity that lets you see what's real and what's not, in a way that thinking alone can't provide. Ancient teachers said the spiritual heart is the true place of the I am, the part of us that watches without judging, loves without needing to own, and understands without effort. It's the quiet witness inside all of us, present from birth and lasting beyond death, like a part of the soul that also acts like an antenna here in this world. That's why in spiritual traditions like Sufism, Tantric Buddhism, or Christian mysticism, awakening the heart is seen as essential. Without it, spiritual practice can become empty repetition or just going through the motions. But once the spiritual heart comes alive, everything changes. Meditation feels meaningful. Prayer becomes a real connection. Even everyday life feels sacred. That's when we realize the real spiritual journey isn't about looking outward or climbing some ladder. It's about going inward to that hidden place where the truth has always been waiting. Waking up the spiritual heart isn't easy or automatic. It's a process like an inner transformation that needs both courage and letting go. This heart has always been inside us, like a seed under the ground. But to activate it, we have to move through layers of forgetfulness, emotional pain, false identities, and distractions. It's not about creating something new, but remembering who we really are at our core. One of the biggest blocks to waking up this heart is the ego, the part of our mind that builds a separate me. The ego is smart and tricky, resisting change. It runs on fear, comparison, judgment, and a need to control. While the ego wants to be right, the spiritual heart wants to understand. While the ego fears losing things, the spiritual heart owns nothing and fears nothing. The ego doesn't just disappear because you want it to. It fades away when a higher awareness shows up. And that awareness is born in the spiritual heart. Many mystical traditions talk about a secret fire burning deep in the center of the chest. Alchemists called it the fire of inner transformation. In Kabbalah, there's mention of a divine spark called nitzatz that lives in the human heart and longs to reconnect with infinite light. This fire isn't physical, but more like a vibration. When we start living from the spiritual heart, this fire lights up and begins to burn away anything that's not real. Fake masks fall away, illusions disappear, and what's left is the truth. So what does that awakening feel like? How can you tell if you're truly living from the spiritual heart and not just caught up in a temporary emotion? The heart awakening isn't about feeling super happy or euphoric, though those can happen sometimes. It's more like a deep, steady peace that doesn't depend on what's happening around you. It's a quiet confidence, a feeling of being bigger inside, where you start seeing others not as separate people but as parts of yourself. It's like an invisible door opens inside you, giving you access to a kind of wisdom that you haven't learned from books, but feels ancient and deeply familiar. At first, this feeling doesn't stay all the time. It comes in flashes, moments of silence, moments of pure love, or times during meditation when your sense of self fades away for a bit. But with practice and openness, this heart becomes the real center of your life. You stop reacting just out of your mind or your impulses and instead respond from a calm, aware presence that watches, accepts, and shines light on everything. What's really interesting is that when the spiritual heart wakes up, it also turns on an inner guide. Many people describe this as a soft voice or whisper that doesn't boss you around but gently guides you in the right direction. This voice doesn't need to shout. It's clear to anyone who's tuned into their soul, even with noise all around. When this happens, something amazing takes place. The spiritual heart not only changes how you see things, but it also improves the flow of your life energy, called prana, chi, or subtle energy depending on the tradition. Your body starts healing, your emotions balance out, and your mind becomes clearer. The spiritual heart organizes your whole energetic system, like a conductor leading an orchestra, not by force but through the vibration of conscious love. This is the big secret many ancient traditions kept. The spiritual heart isn't just for seeing the truth. It's a tool for real transformation. It's the foundation of true spiritual growth. And the most amazing part? This hidden organ has always been inside you, patiently waiting for you to listen and wake it up. Awakening the spiritual heart isn't just for saints, monks, or mystics living apart from the world. It's something anyone can do who wants a deeper, more meaningful life. But it won't happen by chance. It takes intention, regular practice, and a genuine willingness to look inside yourself. Here are a few things you can start doing to spark and keep the flame of your spiritual heart alive. 1. Create inner silence. The spiritual heart speaks softly. To hear it, you need quiet, not just outside, but inside your mind, too. Calm the constant chatter, judgments, and worries. Spend a few minutes every day, maybe just 10, sitting quietly without trying to fix or think about anything. Just be still. This creates the right space for your heart to start speaking. 2. Focus on the center of your chest. Gently bring your attention to the middle of your chest. You can do this while meditating, walking mindfully, or even during daily activities. This simple act acts like a key, waking up the heart's energy. Over time, you may begin to feel warmth or a living presence there, almost like the heart is answering your call. 3. Align your thoughts, words, and actions. The spiritual heart thrives when what you think, say, and do are in sync. This creates a clear path for its energy to flow. It strengthens your energy and sharpens your inner awareness. It's not about being perfect, but about being real, having the courage to act from your truth, even if it's not easy or popular. 4th, turn your pain into a doorway. Deep wounds, losses, and tough times often push us towards spiritual awakening. Instead of running away from pain, face it with your heart. Ask yourself, what part of me needs to be born again? Often the spiritual heart wakes up in the darkest moments because that's when masks fall off and the real truth shines through. Don't deny your pain. Use it as a path to something sacred. 5th, serve others with loving awareness. Helping others with a pure heart is one of the strongest ways to awaken the spiritual heart. It's not about doing what you feel you have to do, but about seeing others as a part of yourself. When you serve from your heart, you connect with a higher energy. Every small act becomes a sacred way to connect with something greater. 6th, practice gratitude as a spiritual act. Gratitude isn't just a nice feeling, it's a powerful force for change. When you truly give thanks from deep inside, you raise your energy and your spiritual heart begins to bloom. Be thankful for what's visible and invisible, for the easy and the hard. Gratitude feeds the secret garden of your soul. These aren't just mechanical steps, they are sacred actions. Like anything sacred, they need respect, consistency, and love. If you bring them into your life, not as chores but as gifts, you'll be planting seeds for a life led by your heart, from the hidden place where your deepest truth lives. We live in a noisy world. Screens glow, opinions shout, time slips away, and it's hard to focus. In this chaos, we've lost touch with the one place where truth doesn't have to be proven, where peace doesn't depend on outside things, and where wisdom isn't taught but remembered, the spiritual heart. Through this journey, we've seen that this heart isn't just a pretty idea or romantic symbol. It's a real bright center recognized by the world's greatest spiritual traditions: Egyptians, yogis, Sufis, mystical Christians, all pointing to the same truth in their own words. Inside you is a temple, and inside that temple burns a flame that can't be put out, though sometimes it's forgotten. Modern science has done amazing work studying the mind and body, but has mostly ignored the invisible soul. But things are changing. More and more people feel a restlessness that logic or stuff can't fix, a thirst for something deeper. That's the spiritual heart starting to call you awake. The hardest part of this journey isn't finding the spiritual heart, it's trusting it. Living from the heart means breaking old patterns, stopping the mind when it sabotages you, giving up quick pleasures for deeper truth, and most of all, letting go of the need to control everything. But the payoff is huge. Living from your spiritual heart means finding your inner compass, remembering that you're not separate from life, but part of its sacred flow. It means seeing that every person, every moment of pain or joy fits into a bigger, beautiful symphony, guided not by chance, but by the soul's intelligence. It's learning to move not with hurried steps, but with the calm respect of someone who knows every moment is a doorway. I invite you not to let this stay just a nice idea. Bring it into your life. Talk to your heart every morning. Feel it when you make decisions. Ask it questions your mind can't answer. Listen to it when the world wants you to be someone you're not. And above all, trust it. If you keep going, if you care for that flame, one day your spiritual heart won't just guide you, it will be your true home. And in that home, there's no loneliness, no confusion, no fear, only a calm, timeless certainty that you are exactly where you're meant to be, and that everything you need to remember who you are is already burning in the center of your chest. If this message spoke to you, if it sparked something inside or reminded you of a truth you'd forgotten, I invite you to dive deeper into this path. Subscribe to the channel and join a community focused on awakening, not just with the mind, but with the soul. Here we explore lost wisdom, soul maps, and tools to help you transform from the inside out. If this video inspired you, please give it a like. That positive energy helps us reach more hearts that are still sleeping. And if you feel called, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Sometimes one message can light a fire that's been out for years. Remember, the journey to the spiritual heart isn't about running away, it's about coming home, the most sacred and real home of all.